Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. We're speaking with Jim Pettit. He's the CEO and president of Aben Resources. Welcome back to the show, Jim.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
A news release has just come out from Aben. What does it tell us?
Well, Aben has just announced a financing for our work program this summer up in the Golden Triangle of British Columbia. The Forrest Kerr property in particular. Financing's hard dollars or non-flow-through is 10 cents with a 15-cent warrant. And there's a flow-through component to it, which is 12.5 cents with a 15-cent component. We're going to raise up to 500,000 hard dollars and 750,000 flow-through. And I suspect it will be sold out very quickly.
Do you have any projects underway or about to start?
Well, our Forrest Kerr project is virtually getting ready to go next week. I did wait until the last minute to raise funds because I had warrants that were being exercised for the last 2 months. So we brought in an extra $500,000 in warrants that were going to expire at the end of May. When that was done, then I now announced the financing. So financially we'll be in really good shape. Our budget to start with will be about $1.3 million, and we want to drill 2,000 to 2,500 meters. And there's a fair amount of flexibility because the drilling would start in August. The field work is starting Monday, and permitting should all be in place by then for the drilling program.
What exactly are you guys looking for?
Well, this is a significant gold project. This is elephant country up there. Where our property is situated about exactly halfway between the old Snip mine and the old Eskay Creek mine. The Forrest Kerr property lies right on the Kerr fault, which runs north-south. So it's a very long, almost 50-kilometer long regional fault that we now encompass just about the whole thing. And we look at it as a major driving force or engine for the whole region. And it is a region that has incredible grades. And it's not just limited to gold. There's a tremendous amount of silver in the area. Eskay Creek it mined about 160 million ounces of silver. And, the gold numbers were astronomical, and you've got Pretium is going into production any minute, this summer. So they'll be pouring their first bars momentarily, and there's lots going on. There's probably 8 other companies all around us that are going to be working this summer.
Does it give you a lot of confidence then that you have so much history behind this area?
Oh, it does. This area was explored 30 some odd years ago, initially, because of the discovery at Eskay Creek, which was, groundbreaking. It was probably the richest gold mine in the world. They were looking for, at the time, a VMS system, geologic system like Eskay Creek's, and now we've got a different style of geography or geology, which Pretium is showing everybody, so a little more structurally controlled rather than a VMS. So, there's a lot to be looked at or re-looked at. And on our property, we've got about 100 historic holes and up to 20,000 historic soil and rock samples. So we've compiled it into a regional database, and we've got some good areas, the best areas in our mind, to go in and start with. I like the 4 best locations out of probably 30 that we can go in and work.
Do you have new technology that the old-time miners wouldn't have had access to that make you even more confident?
Well, a good understanding of structure is one thing, and that's just an advancement of, the geologic know-how. We're going up in the field right away with a structural geologist. It's a very complex area. Geophysics has come a long way. Even though, today it can be difficult because of the terrain. It's quite steep, etc. We've got a lot of, the soil sampling and that sort of thing. It is what it is. You've got a better ability to compile that data rather than on a property scale, on a regional scale.
What communities are around there, just so people can get a better geographic sense of where it
Stewart
is?
is straight south. You know, so it's a real historic belt. To our north is Dease Lake. There's a highway runs straight up, to our east. In the last 10 years, there's been a lot of infrastructure put into the area. You know, the road that comes, originally it was going into Eskay Creek, but it now is a road that takes you to what is now the major power plants in the area, the Runner River Power that are now powering the northwest quadrant of British Columbia. And the AltaGas, which built that, has left their huge camp facility in place, and it's capable of handling about 200 men. And so we can basically utilize that as a staging point, or, as it's not a long distance, we can fly our crews in every day by helicopter, 10, 15-minute flight, and then they can stay in and it's not a lodge, but it's a huge ATCO trailer system. And at a reasonable price, $250 a day per man, food, accommodations, and all the first aid is there too. So it's probably as inexpensive, or the same price as putting up a 10-man camp up into the region.
How many people involved now, and if the project takes off, how many people involved then?
Well, we're starting this month with coming up with a 4-man crew, 2 geologists, 2 rock pickers. And they're basically going to be really going over the first areas that we want to drill, because those areas are associated with historic drilling that was really, really quite good, but very little follow-up. So they want to go in there and make sure that they can find the drill collars, that they can position the pads where they want them, that the drill's going to sit on. And then when you get drilling, then you've got the core handlers, drill crew. You're going to have up to 10 people.
Is there a lot of excitement in the industry generally in that area? And are people, I have to say, a little jealous that you might have found another mainstream gold find? Well,
yeah, there's a lot of interest in the area. There's talk that there'll be up to $100 million worth of work this summer. It's probably on par with what's going on in Quebec in the Windfall Lake area with Osisko and that, and all the juniors around them. It's a really good area play. Last year was definitely telling, because, we announced that we'd acquired the ground. We really weren't going to do any work, but the stock went from 7 cents to 35. And that was based on work going on around us. So, we haven't seen area plays like that for a long time, but the interest here is, it's justifiable. This is probably the most richly endowed gold country in the world.
Jim, where can people find you on the markets?
Well, our symbol is ABN.V in Vancouver. We're located in Vancouver, TSX. OTC is ABNAF. Frankfurt is E2L2. They can contact me or Don Myers at 604-687-3376 or 1-800-567-8181.
Jim, thanks for the update.
You bet. Anytime.
We've been speaking with Jim Pettit. He's the president and CEO of Aben Resources. We were speaking on June 14th. I'm Jim Goddard.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.